Attention, staff and students at Ladue Horton Watkins High School. There is an epidemic of boredomitis hitting our school. We hear you're reluctant to help, but we need you. With my team of John Hattie, Janet Hale, and Michael Fisher, we can overcome this epidemic of boredomitis. Our team seems to have found that it comes from a lack of engagement. We are lacking the balance between teachers talking, listening, and doing, and the similar balance between students talking, listening, and doing. We are also lacking multiple assessment methods to provide rapid, formative interpretations to students and make adjustments to their teaching and maximize their learning. We need to improve this. We seem to have found why this boredomitis is hitting the school. It's because talking is easy. Lecturing is easy. When students are nodding along with lecture and taking notes, it's easy to assume that they are comprehending and understanding everything you say and do. When we assess our students, summative, we find out that's not true. There will always be A's. Those high flyers could be handed a textbook and just get it. They could regurgitate all the information. But we can't leave 85% of the class behind. We need to look at Hattie's effect sizes to guide us to what could work better, to find more effective instruction. So that brings us to our plan, how we can fix it. First of all, we need to utilize the resources that we have for formative assessment. We are a one-to-one school. Every student has an iPad. Every teacher has an iPad. Here are a couple examples of technologies that we can use us to help quickly, formatively assess students right in our room, right during class, and get feedback right away. We could use iExcel, Kahoot, GoFormative, Socrative, and Google Forms. But students need to be a part of this change too. Students need to have a voice. We need to allow them to be part of the change. They need to understand the objective, the expectation. They should be able to put it in their own words and have ownership of this. One of our leaders, John Hattie, says this has an effect size of 1.44. Just lecture has an effect size of 0.6. If we can get students to understand what they need to know, they can help themselves and they can help others. They can help others see the big picture. Another way to do that is concept mapping. For example, in geometry and working in Chapter 6 with quadrilaterals, students map out the most general quadrilateral all the way down to the most specific, the square. They can help each other list angles, sides, diagonals. All those properties will help students be able to comprehend their geometry lesson, and it's not just taking some notes. They can put it together as a presentation in Google Slides, as a movie, collaboratively, individually. We need these students to help us be part of the change. Another way to get students to be able to engage is take out teachers talking. We need to find out what's important to students. A teacher in Upgrade Your Curriculum, written by our colleagues in this study, Janet Hale and Michael Fisher, took a look at a teacher who made a connection with his social studies students using microloans. They were able to help people and see their impact that they made on their community. That's way better to them than a plain old worksheet or reading in a book. A way to connect this to Algebra 2 is to look at loans and interest and how to compound it. That has everything to do with exponential functions. That's a great example of taking something to the transform category, from conform to transform. We now have a high impact on learning. The students are engaged. It's something that applies to them. They can see themselves doing good in the greater community, and it has a high impact on engagement. It's time for action. I can help write a prescription, along with John Hattie, Janet Hale, and Michael Fisher, for this boredomitis. We can do this through engaging learning strategies and formative assessment. It's time for teachers to stop talking all the time. It's time for students to have their voices heard too, and have their work seen. We need to get students back on track and cured of their boredomitis.